Okay, great.
Hi, my name is Annabelle Court. I am happy to be here today to help represent Hilton Head Christian Academy's 6th grade STEM class. My fellow presenters today will be JT Boyd and Sloan Clark. The theme of this year's competition is Waste Not, Want Not. When we began researching this, we tried to find different ways to bring all of our ideas to life. Through all of our research, Recyclia was born. Recyclia is our grand envisionment of the future modern city in the United States. We look to streamline transportation with the maglev rail system. We also wanted to reduce environmental impact of waste. Now, we all have trash. It's just what we do with it that counts. So, take Sweden for example. Sweden has just as much trash as us, but 50% of Sweden's trash ends up in these recycling facilities that we have over here in our residential zone, where paper, plastic, batteries, light bulbs, and stuff like that all get separated out and reused. The other 50% gets smelted down in our robotic hybrid, just like Sweden. And all the stuff that can't be burned down, like tile and porcelain, that gets sifted out and used in road construction. They've become so invested in their trash that now they ask for trash from neighboring countries too. Now on to Sloan for more information. In our city, we have 4 means of transportation. We have our maglev rail system, we have a river, we have roadways, and we have bus stops. Over here, this is the industrial zone, with this being the robotic hybrid in which Annabelle mentioned. These are the control centers which can provide jobs for citizens of Recyclia. This over here is the commercial zone, where we have a university and a school for anyone in our city that wants to be educated. This can also provide many jobs for the residents in our city. This is the residential zone with recycling centers located very nearby for the residents' convenience. The residents would take their recyclables to the recycling centers, where it is then sorted and processed and sent into the hybrid, where it is then smelted, decomposed, and incinerated to make energy. Down here, we wanted the utility infrastructure to be underground to hide the negative appearance of telephone wires, fiber optic lines, etc., and is all installed with a large conduit for futuristic. HOPE stands for Our Hope for the Future. Recyclia is. We want other cities to recreate Recyclia and help support a planet that helps sustain to be viable and long-term approach to life. Now on to JT for more about the robotic hybrid and utility infrastructure.
Hi, my name is JT Boyd, and I'm going to talk to you more about the energy of the city and how we get that energy, more about this hybrid. And the reason we call it a robotic hybrid is because instead of people working in it and risking their lives and their well-being, we have robots work in the facility. So if they get broken somehow, we can just repair them. So people use these robots and machines from control centers over here. So they still have a job, they're still making money, and these robots can stay in good shape. So that powers a generator in our power grid underneath the city, which powers the city and incinerators and other systems. So that creates a loop that generates energy and keeps the city going. We also get energy from outer city power plants that have wires that run through the power grid underground, and we also get energy from the river. Now, because there's all this incinerating and stuff going on, we have air filters and air scrubbers to keep the air clean. And right here we have a water tower that provides coolant for the incinerator as well as water for the rest of the city. And it gets this water from the river, and it purifies it in our utility area underground, and it distributes it to the city. Now, the recycling centers also have a way to get water into it. So there's two different places in the recycling centers. There's the solid waste and also water. Maybe your water is used or something, you put it in there, and it runs back to this tower, retreats it, and then it's stored and it's clean. And so, in conclusion, the city is pretty nice. It doesn't have lots of dangers. We try to make it pretty much as safe as possible, and it has lots of space. Well, it's not very big, but I mean, it has those parks over there, it has room to improvise it. So, we present to you recycling, our hope for the future.
So it sounds like you spent a lot of time thinking about safety. You know things in the future are going to be different. Tell me how is waste going to be different?
In the future, we're obviously going to have different types of waste. So that's why we included the decomposing element in our hydrant. So we can use as much waste as possible to get energy and resources out of it. Now, there obviously are landfills out of the city if nothing can be used as material for the roads or anything, and it can be smelted or decomposed. So obviously there's not a lot of that going around. So just like Sweden, there's less than 5% of trash going in landfills.
Thank you. What measures have you taken to protect your city from natural disasters?
In our city, we have hospitals, so if anybody is hurt during a natural disaster, they can be sent to the hospital. And we also have earthquake safe structures. Most of our structures are supported by other things, such as this building here. It has a wider base than the top, so it'd be hard to topple over. In a tornado, we could shut off all facilities because they're easily accessible. So those are just some of the precautions that can be made during a natural disaster.
In addition to what JT said, our maglev rail system is supported by bolts, so it is very strong to withstand a natural disaster that causes a lot of damage.
You mentioned about the robotics that supports your recycling industry. How do those members of citizens that are low income and unemployed, how are they supported by your city?
Could you repeat that question?
How does your city provide support for low-income and unemployed citizens?
Some tax money can go toward a soup kitchen or a homeless shelter. Maybe some of the energy or resources that are created through the recycling process could be put toward construction of some of those buildings.
Continuing on the people theme, what kind of people, what background, what education are you looking for your citizens in terms of being able to run your city efficiently and effectively?
In our control centers over by the robotic hydrant, we can use engineers to help run that. We have a university, so we can use teachers, and we also use construction workers to help our city grow in terms of buildings.
Also, we can use the simpler things like maybe a store clerk. You know, it doesn't all have to be so complicated. Just because it's the future.
How does your city allow for growth?
Utility-wise, we manufacture decided utility to be all underground, so it's all installed within a very large conduit for future expansion into more utility.
In addition to that, because it's underground, you don't need to maneuver telephone wires and things like that around buildings in our city. Buildings can be made much easier because it's never in the way of utilities because that's all stored underground.
So take that a little bit further. Tell me, how do you ensure that your waste management systems are energy efficient?
So when it melts down trash, it gets energy, which it supplies energy to the rest of the city. When you have energy somewhere, you're gonna do more stuff and you're gonna make more trash. When you make more trash, it gets put back through the hydrant and makes more energy. So it's just a cycle that keeps making energy. So it's a very reliable source, as well as the rivers are constantly flowing. So obviously that's going to be a reliable source. And then there's the off-site power plants, which are, of course, efficient because they're used a lot today.
So let's move over to transportation. You know, most cities, as they grow, they get more complex, larger, they have difficulty with transportation. How do you solve that problem with your city?
Our maglev rail system is available to all the citizens in this area, and we have four types of transportation. We have roadways, and we have bus stops for people that do not currently own a car. We have a river that cargo ships could come through to drop off goods in the commercial zone. And I think that four types of transportation could very much support a city of this size.
And the maglev rail system is an extremely fast method of transportation. And actually, we got the idea of Robinson's. We thought it would be a great idea, so we brought it to life in our model. And it's a train suspended by magnets inside of a rail tube, so there's zero friction. So it can travel at extremely high speeds across a large-scale city.
Can you tell me how your solid waste is transported from the generators in the residences and the businesses to the waste facility? How do you get it from the generators to the waste facility?
So, the residence here is what's going to generate the majority of the trash, but currently the industrial do too. But in the residential and some right here in the middle, there are recycling centers.
Okay, let's give one big final round of applause for our three finalists and all of them.